Hey guys, my name is Abdullah and I just finished watching the first episode of Bungou Stray Dogs animated by Studio Bones. And to be honest, I was surprised from what I was given, from what I expected of the anime. I thought it was going to be some dramatic action thriller with some fantasy thing involved. And it did kind of turn out to be that. It is kind of action-y and it does have some fantasy elements, but it's a comedy series. I didn't know much about the anime before I continue. I didn't read the plot or watch the teasers. I just based my opinion on it from looking at a poster on myanimelist.net, and that's where I thought all this stuff was involved. And I was really happy I kind of got it right. But as this in just the first 2 minutes, the anime made me start laughing at its jokes, and I just realized that's very well writing because they were joking about some dark matters of this in the series, and that some people could be offended by. So if you are offended by things like suicide or starvation, you should hold back from watching this series. These jokes landed perfectly a lot of the times during the first episode, but in a way, as we were nearing the end and some momentum was building up and a lot of some dramatic moments were happening, as they inserted some of the jokes, they didn't sit well. They didn't land properly because for a comedy series to have dramatic moments, you can't just have a joke every 2 minutes. And this anime did that. It was they were inserting a joke into every dialogue line. Every second they were trying to make you laugh, and they did a majority of the times make you laugh. But it could sometimes like kind of bug you because at the end of the episode, as a dramatic moment's happening, and you're into that moment, the joke just takes you out, and that's what happened to me right now. The first episodes, it's practically about a bunch of humans have some supernatural powers, and they use this as use these powers to help people investigate some situations that the military or police cannot do. For example, a tiger is roaming the city and causing damage, and it turns out our main character is that tiger, and it's his supernatural abilities, but he doesn't know of it and he has no control of it. So they kind of take him in, and that's where the anime is going to continue from. So it's going to be the exploits of this group of private investigators. But the anime, as I was watching it, something funny happened. One of the main characters' names sounded really familiar, and his name is Dazai, and Osamu Dazai, I think? Yeah, Osamu Dazai. And I was like, I've heard of this name before, and when they announced his special abilities, they said no longer human, and I was like, one sec, I'm reading a manga named No Longer Human. I'm pretty sure the mangaka's name is Dazai. So I opened my iPod because that's where I read my manga, and it's right there in my app, and it was like, shit, that's so cool. And as I googled a bit of it, and it turns out all the characters are named after some Japanese literary figures in Japanese history. Like every character, even the main character, is named after a literary figure. And I read a bit of Dazai's Wikipedia article, and I realized that he had a lot of suicide temptations, and the anime kind of made fun of that. So it makes me think this anime might be controversial for some because they're making fun of some historical figures of Japanese history, and they're making fun of situations such as starvation or suicide, and that won't land well with some people who might be easily offended by this stuff, such as Dazai's family. Another thing I liked about this was the animation, because I think it kind of made me feel like Blood Blockade Battlefront or Project K as I was watching it, and that made me kind of more interested. And for some reason, the Death Parade was a huge. It gave a Death Parade type of feel. The colors, the use of colors, as the episode went along, I was like, I have a feeling like this is gonna be Death Parade. Another thing for this anime, it's that the correlation between Dazai, the anime character, and Dazai, the historical figure in Japanese history, there's so much similarities that we can expect some of the other anime characters to have correlation between them and the Japanese writers that they're representing. An example being the MC's starvation problem might have existed in the Japanese writer that he's Something else that was interesting about this episode was that it kind of made me feel that they didn't give us a proper time period that the anime set in. Yes, we did see a motorcycle pass by, but I got like a 70s or 80s vibe from the episode, and maybe that's just me and you didn't feel that way at all, but it just, for some reason, that animation kind of made me have that vibe around me. Another thing I think you should know is that this anime is going to be more enjoyable for people who kind of know these Japanese writers and know a bit about their history. So if you want to like read about them, you should. It's kind of interesting reading about Dazai right now. And another thing that you can, it's for people who don't know much about these people, it could be still enjoyable. I didn't know anything about them until after finishing the episode and reading about Dazai, but I still laughed at so many of the jokes because it was still funny. So I think that's what the anime is very successful at, is that it involves fans of the Japanese writers and people who'd never even heard of them before. I didn't even know this anime had the characters set after literary figures until after I finished watching the episode and read a bit of other people's reviews of it. So all in all, it's an enjoyable watch. You will have fun, but sometimes the jokes get a bit overused, and not at the correct moments. So watch out for that and enjoy. If you want to, can you leave your opinion down in the comment box below and give me a like and subscribe? Thank you so much for your time and enjoy watching this anime.